Epic is planning something crazy for the end of Chapter 3. We got free items, a 40-minute live event, and even the return of some fan-favorite characters. The only thing even more out of control is all the leaks that have occurred over the past few days. So let's take a closer look at some of these teasers, leaks, and exclusive items you don't want to miss out on. The new teaser for the Fractured live event is insane, and one frame in particular might actually be something fans have been waiting for all of Chapter 3. Let's take a quick look, shall we? Absolute goosebumps. We got a few shots of previous seasons and the 0 point, but if you take a look at this frame, you can see the characters watching as the Chrome Storms tear the island apart with the Herald at the center of the largest storm. Now, if you thought that was hype, this frame is even more interesting. At first, it appears to be some of our characters preparing to defend their position from an oncoming threat. However, take a closer look. Where are they? Are they in some sort of canyon? Guess again, because those distinct shapes of the rock look a lot more like a rib cage. Giant bones. Is it possible that breaking the island into pieces will uncover the bones of the Devourer? By the looks of it, the loopers have built a base on the remains. Also noted is that most of the footage in the trailer is from Chapter 2 and Chapter 3, so perhaps both sides of these specific islands will merge into one. One of the juiciest new pieces of information we have gotten is the live event teasers. These posters show various characters in space, but there's a few minor details that seem to be hinting at something larger. Of course, we have the hidden fours if you look closely. Mancake Syrup makes a 4, Unstuffed Guff has the number 4 tattooed on his body, even Ruby's legs are crossed with number 4. We all know by this point that next season is Chapter 4, but there's actually something more going on in the background. Some players have noticed that a star can be seen off in space. You'll notice it is unusually bright. However, if you look at the images side by side, it actually seems to be getting closer. Could this be the nothing on the way to the 0 point? The last time we saw something like this happening was when Galactus showed up and he slowly got closer to the island over time. Which is interesting due to the parallels between the Galactus Silver Surfer duo and the Herald's relationship with the Nothing. One always arrives to herald the much bigger threat. Players have always found it strange that the Herald is plant-based, yet she deals with chrome. So perhaps the Herald and the Nothing aren't exactly friends per se, and we could possibly be seeing a betrayal that helps us put things back in order when everything breaks loose. One of the biggest overlooked details is the emphasis on space during these teasers. Is it just an aesthetic, or is it going to become a bit more permanent than we think? During the Season 2 event, the mech was rebuilt on the moon and we got a glimpse at what Fortnite Island looks like from an outside perspective. So will we be floating around in space during the event, hopping from one chunk of the island to the next? Or maybe we'll have a whole season where the skybox is replaced by space. Want to start the next season as the best player you can possibly be? Then click on the link below and visit ProGuides.com for some next level coaching. Come in a noob and come out a pro. So come talk to our coaches and see how you can start hitting tournaments. One of the creepiest teasers for the end of the chapter event are the latest TikTok teasers. Players are having a battle outside as Unstuffed Guff takes cover inside a cabin, but suddenly they are gone, leaving only their loot behind. What in the world just happened here? Or better question, will this happen during the live event? This isn't the only TikTok teaser out there. Another one starring Ruby can be found as she chromes certain items. Eventually, she looks up in horror at something in the sky. Absolute chills, man. This seems to be the same as the Mancake and the Crystal teaser. By the way, that teaser had Midas in it, so maybe, hint hint. The most recent TikTok has an ominous voice advising us to let go because the end is almost here.
The end is almost here.
This is the first time we hear what seems to be the Herald's voice. If so, we'll definitely hear more of it during the live event. However, the most interesting teaser might actually be the Go Mochi video. In it, we see Mochi dancing and having a good time. Suddenly, the background scenery changes as he is left confused and alone in the worst place imaginable, Coral Castle. Coral Castle was locked away for good at the end of the last chapter. Does this mean that we'll be seeing it make a return in the future? Well, this next teaser might actually give us a good lead. A clean camp makes a happy camper. This teaser might actually be a hint at what the next map will look like. We see Jonesy skipping through various snapshots of himself, which might be hinting at the fact that during this event, we will be dealing with the overall multiverse. We know there are other realities in the Fortnite universe, and by the end of the event, we might actually see the grand multiverse become one singular reality. How exactly would this work? By reforging the multiverse. This could mean that the next map is going to be made up of all sorts of new and familiar locations merged into one. So next season is going to be absolutely crazy. Now for the question of the day. What do you think the loophole should look like in the next season? What OG weapons would you love to see come back? Leave your responses in the comments section below. There might already be a name for this, and it is called Zero Fusion. Essentially, once the 0 point is put back together, the paradigm as well as other loop breakers will initiate Zero Fusion to merge all the previous islands into one big island. Check out these leaked audio clips.
Status report. Good. You'll see. One of us has to survive. Figure it out. Zero fusion won't be possible until the 0 point has completely recovered. You and the team need to restore the 0 point before anyone realizes how vulnerable we are.
We've got Durburger, people. I wonder if Durburger's drive-thru computer is still mad at me. A new part of the island has arrived. You'd better keep that sand out of my corpse. Another piece of the island. Someone's having a weird day at work right now. I never expected this much of the island to survive.
One of the island pieces that seems to be coming back is Durburger. So perhaps this is actually the live-action Durburger in California being brought back into the Fortnite universe as all realities merge. Who knows what else will be brought back? Sweaty Sands? Pleasant Park? What about one of the best POIs ever, Hunter's Haven? There are just so many possibilities. Now, for something that isn't audio, the other half of the leak seemed to be concept art. While concept art isn't always true to the final product, it can provide great insight into what's in the mind of the writers at the time. Here we can see the 0 point exposed, but also some strange abnormalities happening around the island. Or at least, what's left of it. The last time we saw something like this was during the Chapter 2, Season 5 and Season 6, when the 0 point would give us visions of other realities. The map saw some instant changes as the environment was warped under the influence of the Zero energy. This would actually line up with what happened during the Mochi teaser, where he suddenly found himself in a different location. So what will happen in the live event? And what does this mean for Chapter 4? There has been a massive leak which has allowed players to see snippets of what will actually happen during the live event, and boy does it look gnarly. It seems like the entire island will be broken apart into pieces, and it will be our job to put it back together again. How do we know this? Well, we have some free items that give us hints, as well as some quest lines that seem to relate to the live event. Those who participate in the event will get a free emote called the Toasty Roast. It's a cozy little campfire emote where you enjoy marshmallows as the world falls apart around you. Pretty neat, right? Well, this next item is even crazier. Speaking of free items, there is a really interesting backbling called Zero Fragment, which seems to be paired up with a quest line, help the 0 point recover, with a description of find and collect 0 point fragments. This pretty much falls in line with the rest of the leak, suggesting that we will be putting the island and the 0 point back together after some sort of catastrophic event. This backbling will also be free, so be sure to log in and participate if you want to get your hands on it. The live event is rumored to be more than 40 minutes long. Wow, that's insane. But what's even more insane is what this means for the event itself. If you look into the big Fortnite lore book, loopers get their memories wiped away every 20 seconds. So could we see characters losing their memory mid-event and having to remember the plan before it's too late? Or perhaps the loop will actually be broken during the halfway point, allowing our characters to keep fighting past the cutoff point. Interestingly enough, you'll be able to join this event mid-game, so it's an interesting feature that we haven't seen before. And a huge reminder, this is a one-time only event, so don't miss it. This series of secret mesh were decrypted and feature a small chunk of the island suspended in the air. The second image shows Crackshot Cabin attached to a balloon. One leak suggests that locations that have been suspended in the air with balloons will survive the fractured event and become minor locations in the next chapter of Fortnite. It's also very possible that they will play a key role during the fractured event. Can you imagine hopping from one mini island to the next as you complete quests or do mini games? Considering this is all happening, there are already plenty of details hinting at the return of fan-favorite character Midas. However, Epic just dropped a major tease. We all know that all that glitters is gold is a staple of Midas. Now, the These same words are being used in the teasers for the Chapter 3 finale. All that glitters has consumed the ground you walk on. Considering we're starting to get closer to Project Loopbreaker, it would be crazy if Midas didn't show up in some shape or form. Maybe he's still drifting out at sea somewhere. However, if he does come back, he might just play a major role in the next chapter. Before we wrap things up, don't forget to check out ProGuides.com and watch yourself go from noob to pro. Well, that wraps things up for today. So what do you think? You excited for the live event? This is going to be the biggest event in Fortnite history, and what comes after is going to be even bigger. Creative 2.0, first-person mode, a possibly nostalgic island to come back to. It seems like Epic is sparing no expense into making the hype for Chapter 4 absolutely legendary. So leave a like and ring that bell, and we'll see you on the other side, loopers.